How you guys doing? Just give us a chance to catch up, right? Because there's always a delay because this is a live video. So hello friends, happy Sunday. Are you ready to, oh look, are you ready to craft? Are you ready to do the things? Are we ready? It's gonna be fun today. Got lots of plans for 2026. So we're going to chat for a little bit before we roll into it and then give everybody a chance to get here. Hi, friends. Hello, Jennifer. Hi, Heather. Hi, Thelma. So Thelma was saying she likes the time. So yes, I am working. Do you like my top? I feel like this needs to be a paper. Like this needs to inspire stamps or something, right? But I have sweatpants on the bottom, but this makes me feel good and creative, and I feel like I'm doing everything this year. I'm being very conscious of doing things that find me joy, and putting this top on and changing my earrings today and combing my hair and putting deodorant on is helping me find joy, because we don't need to get into all the things. You guys know all you got to do is read newspapers, open anything. That I need to find a place to find joy. I need to quiet the noise. And this is my plan for this year. So you know me as I scrapbook. I do that. I'm a memory keeper. I love mixed media art. Hi, I'm Vicki Booten if you're new here, by the way. I'm glad that you're here. If you find us, this community is going strong. It is a very awesome place to be. I feel like it's a very awesome place to be. We've worked really hard at finding some really awesome people to connect with and to get creative with. So welcome. I forget to say those things. Welcome. I need to do a reintroduction. So I got my hair done. Did you notice? It's dark right now with the what do you call this, toner. So it's a little dark right now. So I haven't combed it for 3 days, but I thought I don't want to scare people when I get on here. So let me talk to you. I will rename. See, I'm getting in my stance. This is when like I plant my feet and I feel like, are you ready? It's share time. It's story time with Vicki. So I'm missing your comment. So if I miss something important, just hold it. Kind of hold it aside. Make a note so you don't forget if you're like me. And let's listen. Just come in closer. I this is really important. I feel that I need to share. And some of you guys don't love this part, so that's why you watch this on on rewind or what after, and then you can fast forward for the talking. But I feel like I need to share this piece. For me, what is inspiring me creatively, and it's not even whatever, you know what I mean? The calendar runs all year. Yes, this whole new year thing, new fresh beginnings. I kind of love that idea. I feel like it can be a restart, but it's not for me a restart, it's a refocus. I need to refocus. So my name is Vicki Booten. I'm a designer, but I also have my own company. I manufacture products. I have brand partners. I have employees now. My world has kind of changed since I started this Vicki, stop touching your shirt. Since I started this 23 years ago. That's how long I've been doing this, and it really has become like a business or a business. So see, that's a key word here. A business where it's not just full on creative time for me anymore. I'm creative. The volume isn't working. I wonder why. Friends, is it for everybody? But I don't know why. I can unplug my microphone. I'm going to try that, okay? Let's unplug the microphone and see what happens, okay? Because it could be I have a mic. Let's see. Tell me if this makes a difference. Is it better? Is it better? The volume is fine, but it's choppy. It's static. So did this help? Yeah, see, it's not for everybody, so it's very weird. So this is what I'm going to have to say, because go in and out, right? Start, but it could be my mic. I unplugged the mic. Okay. What was I saying? Now, see, technical difficulties, and I tried to be so on top of it. So I'd have to say it's not for everybody. So it could be your link. So close it and come back in. Okay, close it and come back in. Because it's not for everybody. So then it's not a Vicky thing, right? It's a YouTube thing. So I'd say close it and come back in. Okay? Because if it's not everybody, it means that it's not from me. It means it's from YouTube. So just close YouTube and come back in. So I'll give you a minute. Do that. Just do what I tell you. Try it. Try that. Okay? It's a local connection problem. Yeah, I know it has to be because it's not, but sometimes that's all it takes is to close YouTube and come back in and you get a new connection. I don't know. I don't know the technical aspects of that, but I know it's like kick the vending machine and you'll get your potato chips. So I know that when you close it and come back in, it often helps. Okay. So this is important. Are you ready? Getting back in the stance. So with that being said, that what I am finding, and there's a lot of stuff that I'm taking on this year and doing some things different, and I'm going to slowly be announcing a lot of things. I have a lot of releases. I have a lot of travel this year. But I feel like I don't, are you guys feeling like this? And I don't know if it's my age too, but I feel like I need to refocus. Like I need to look at the things that are working for me, the things that I am, find joy in doing, the things that have to be done and might not be joy bringers, but it's things that have to be done, and the things I'm doing that I don't have to be doing. Like I feel like that is also creatively, I feel like I want to refocus. So I love scrapbooking. I love scrapbook product. I don't want that to change, but I want to find ways that I can use things that I use all the time in different ways. So this is kind of where this has come about today. Is I've been a junk journaler forever. I have made my own albums. I have worked with so many companies throughout my years that have inspired me, but maybe my style is different. So finding ways to make it fit within what I do. So when sitting here thinking about the other big thing that I do is I educate. I love to bring things that inspire me that maybe other people are like, oh, I don't know if I could do that, or I never looked at it that way, and break it down into bite-sized little golden nuggets that you feel like, one, you could do, two, you can decide now that you see how the mechanics of it work, if you want to do it or not. So my plan is, if this is making sense to you, I want to connect with you in this live, and then when you're watching it after. This is where I'm going this year. I need to get way better organized. I'm so right-brained. I know that I function so much better when I can see what's coming. Like I need to see what's coming. And a lot of times I'm so in so many deadlines. Like this last week, I pulled an all-nighter on last Sunday. I literally worked until I went to bed when Devin went to work at 6 a.m. And I'm like, that's really not working for you. I'm too old for that. And I worry about, it takes you like 2 weeks to catch up from that. So I'm like, I can't put myself in those positions anymore, because then I don't feel like I'm the best version of me. So that is one of those things. The other thing that I find is now I've built this Vicky Booten brand, and then I have a hard time saying no and setting boundaries and doing those kind of things. I need to do that, not in a bad way, but just so I can be a better version of Vicky Booten. So that needs to happen this year. And I don't know if this is resonating with you guys in your life, like even saying no to your kids, or no to friends, or no to family. That I just feel like I don't like to say no. I like to give. I like you to like me. I have a people pleaser kind of thing. It's like a part of who I am. If you met me in real life, this is what you get. So remind me of that. I need to bring that back, because this is another thing I'm finding, and I don't know if you guys are finding that I'm having some imposter syndrome and comparison things going on too, just in every aspect of life. And then I'm finding social media is doing this. Like what we see is not necessarily the reality, but I'm still setting these standards for myself that aren't real. They aren't attainable. It's not real. You're seeing edited highlight reel of a lot of things, and not in a bad way, but I'm going, okay, my word for this year is blinders. I feel like it's not even focus, but I need to redirect my energy. That's what I'm feeling. I need to redirect my energy in positive ways with the things I can control. So what you see is, and I hope you never feel like that. That's why leading up, like Inez, I feel like, so what I'm saying here is that's why this series, I want to call it the Let's Create and Learn with Me. So I want to do things that, but I don't want to prep it. Does that make sense? I want to go like today, we're going to make a journal from hand. I kind of made notes of what I want to do, but I didn't prep it because I want you to see in real time the things that work, the things that don't work. So I feel like it feels real. It feels attainable. It feels like that. So this is a big thing for me. So with that, with this whole series, we're still going to be scrapbooking. Friday night lives are still going to be the same way, but I feel like I want to add another day in the week that's a different time. That is like, hey, this inspired me. I love so and so that I want to share links. I want to share the other people in the community, and and this is how I'm going to interpret it. Show me how you're going to interpret it. And we still keep building this community and hopefully pull a lot of you guys in that haven't been doing anything. I also have an issue with, and I have to really address it. I sit on my phone and I scroll and I scroll and I scroll. And I'm feeling like it's not making me feel good because I'm feeling like some of the information, if it's political stuff, is I'm basing opinions on things when I don't have all the facts because there's a lot of lies just out there. And that comes with exercise, home decor, fashion, crafting, because it's just all for clicks. So I feel like I need to, I don't know, this just was this aha thing that I had. And we're not getting into any of that stuff. We're just talking about the crafting, but I want when you come to play with me, that we're refocusing. We're focusing and some of the things you're going to want to do and some you aren't, but maybe it's just a fun space while you're folding the laundry. You can come and meet up with your community. I will read all these comments after because I haven't, because if I read it, I lose my train of thought. So I made this decision for myself as a big girl, like a grown up. What do I want to do? I want to make art. I want to make art that because a lot of what I've been doing is for work. I want to etch out time in the week that is literally just to learn new things. And that's going to be a lot of learning new things because I love it. I'm like an information junkie. It's why I love to scroll. I love to be inspired by the art you're making. I love comments. I love when people interact and it's all gone. Why I started, and when you think of when I Facebooks and chat groups or whatever the online community we used to have is all changed. And I talk about this probably every year, but I want to find that again. I want people to interact. I want to talk to people. So when it is a girl in her basement here in Canada, Ontario, Canada, I can feel like I'm connecting and relating and feeling something that's real in Switzerland or in Spring, Texas, or in BC, Kelowna, BC. I want to feel those connections and I want to feel something that's real. So that's my jam for this year. I'm still going to be scrapbooking. I have a whole bunch of collections that are coming out. I have new stuff that's coming out, but I want to make traveler's notebooks. I want to make art journals. I want a junk journal. And it might all be in the same thing. I might just go and what would you call that? Like I might like Frankenstein some of this stuff. And I don't have rules. I don't have to have a traveler's notebook, doesn't have to be long and narrow. I can make it any size I want because we're going to make some of these things. And then maybe some of the stuff I'm going to manufacture. If there's stuff that we really love and I feel like there's a market for it and people will love that, then maybe I'll make it so I can provide bases for you guys to build on. So lots is coming out, like hybrid, but yeah, I would say hybrid. I like Frankenstein, but you know what I'm saying. So I hope you guys are in I hope you want to jump right in. We're still going to be doing 12 by 12 layouts. We're still going to be doing albums. We're going to be doing flip tag books. We're going to be doing albums from scratch. We're just going to do like, we're going to get back to the art. Well, the you do you, right? As Tim and Lael and all of us, I say it, you do the things that bring you joy. And so I just want to provide inspiration. Like I always say, I like to create little seeds that you plant, you water, you nourish to grow it into the garden you want. It's your creative garden. My garden might not look the same as yours, but it's beautiful and it's mine. And I want to break things down and make it easy. You know, I always say art for everyone. And you can go and follow any other crafter, and maybe you come to Vicky, or like I'm making the book and I'm doing the mixed media and the backgrounds. And then I'm going to go with Lael and I'm going to list, and I'm going to Tim, and I'm going to add Tim stuff in here. And then maybe with Jennifer McGuire and Kathy Z and all those other people that inspire me to make cards. But I want that you're a seed collector. So let's look at us this year. We're going to be seed collectors. So I'm going to collect seeds from lots of different areas, and I'm going to grow my own garden. And I want you to have a whole Vicky section in your garden that I help you take those things. So keep telling me the things that you're like, I love this. And here's a seed, Vicky, but can you make it, can you Frankenstein this seed to make it a hybrid of how Vicky would do this technique? Yes, I love it. Nothing is original. Nothing is original. Like, you know, I see stuff that like I'll feel, I just blinders. I feel like this year needs to be blinders. I just want to focus. I have so many ideas and so much energy and so much joy I want to share. And I need to stop letting it get corrupted with the noise. I feel like there's been a lot of noise lately, creatively, business-wise. So I just feel like I need this to be a place that I really can come, make art, talk with my friends, share that. And that doesn't mean you just need to tell me the positive, like the rough stuff that's going on in your life. Let's put it into our art. Let's put it into our art. So with that being said, here is my inspiration for what we're doing today. I didn't give you a lot of notice with this, so I am going to use tools that I found around my house. So I think the base for our signatures, which we're going to talk about, it's a little sections. We're going to build a couple that are going to go into the base of the album that we're going to build. But I'm going to use 8.5 by 11 because I feel like most people will have 12 by 12. Some of you will have like those stacks of paper you buy at Michael's. We're going to make our signatures out of what you have. This is really more education. It does not mean this is your full functioning art journal. I want this to be your practice and play, learning with Vicky. We're going to create from what we have, and then we're going to build on this. So today, I also don't want it to be where I'm trying to do 12 learning sessions in one session. So here's what I decided, right? Because creatively, this is what I feel like it will be manageable, is we're going to make some signatures. We're going to talk about that. I'm going to show you some of the tools. Signatures and bookbinding and bookmaking are pretty much a mainstay. You can sew signatures. This is a no-sew, so it's going to be something we can slide in and out because I thought that's easy. But I am going to, as we get into this year, we're going to do some bookbinding. We're going to do some Coptic, simple Coptic stuff. We're going to, all these things I've wanted to do. And do you know how much bookbinding stuff that I have, that I own? We're going to go, here's one of the things to add to your list. I want you to go to a thrift store and find a book, a hardcover book that we can gut. We're going to do that. That's going to happen this year. We're going to do some bookbinding in that. So we're going to do some fabric ones. We're going to make our own fabric paper. We're going to do throughout this year, this is going to be an ongoing series of junk journaling bookbinding. So where do you need to start? Let's start at the very beginning. So today is going to be really basic. Doesn't mean this is, no, I do stuff that is way more advanced than this, but I'm okay with. Let's start very basic. So everything we're doing today is naked. We're not decorating anything. We're going to come back. That's going to be my next class, is going to be the part deux of this that we're going to decorate. But today is literally Go find a cereal box. Look at Rich ordered a new tennis racket. So I cut this off of the box. It's just a wonky old piece of cardboard. That's what I'm going to use. So all of you are like, you could use chipboard. I know. But let's start with things that you could find right now. I want your scale, your size might be smaller than mine, but anybody watching this, I don't care who you are, will have the majority of these tools, or they're easy to find. And I think it's a good place to start as we are just starting 2026. What am I going to use this for? I'm going to use this as my practice and play journal. And I don't care if it gets junked up, messy, whatever. It's the first one I'm making this year, and I'm going to use it. I am not quitting scrapbooking. I'm a card maker now. I'll have to show you some sneak peeks, because now with all the Sizzix stuff, and I have to tell you, so Sizzix first release will be on the 19th. So watch, we're gonna do a whole live unveiling of my first release. I have to tell you, as I really focus and plant the seeds and how I'm growing my whole partnership with Sizzix, it just is getting better. So we will have this release that comes out in January. There's another spring release. And what I've been working on, that I've been staying up all night, is the September, I think, release. And I have to say, because I'm working with all of them pretty much at the same time the whole year, it just is getting better, and I freaking love it. And it just a whole different way to craft. Some things I'm going to do clean, white background, just die cut out of cardstock. Some things I'm going to make mixed media background. I want everything you do, that you sit down, and it's not everything we're going to do this year is a start to finish. You're going to have to put the work in. I want to do one day where we're just pulling prints off our gel plate. You need to build what you can pull from. Does that make sense? So when I do these, I feel like it's a disservice when I try to do it in a scrapbook class method when I'm teaching. Do you understand what I'm saying? Where we start with all the products already made from us, and we're just going to make something from it. Well, some of the things we're doing this year, we're making from scratch. So it means we have to sit and focus on one or two techniques and roll with that. And I want you, that's your focus. I want you, when we're done, I want you to have a huge bin of stuff you've made. So when we go to make our next book that we're going to make from our mixed media art and mix book paper and music paper, that you have a plethora of ephemera and pieces that you can pull from. In that is going to be, if you're like, I love the dies, I'm buying all the Sizzix things because I buy all the things that Vicky makes because I know she's going to support my purchase. Well, we're going to take those dies, and then I'm going to say, guess what? We don't have to sit for 3 hours and make mixed media art. Pull out of your bin. Today, we're just die cutting. And I want to talk about things that set you up for success. So this, I'm talking about what we're rolling out for 2026 creatively. So one day we're going to sit and we're going to chat, and maybe it's in the evening and you have a cocktail or a coffee or a tea, and we're just going to die cut. And I'm going to talk about building our fodder, our ephemera. And it's going to be like just pulling different things we've used. And then guess what? Then I have this huge container of die cuts, alphas that are cut out, stamps that I've stamped on different things. And I have a whole bin, and I'm going to share when I find the bins I'm going to store in, I'm going to share all of it. Nothing is going to be secret. I'm going to share everything with you. Some of these things are going to be classes because I can't do everything for free, because this, like I said, I don't go to bed at night. I still have to pay bills, but it's all going to be manageable. Lots of product is going to be coming that will support it. Product you can use. You know, I'm all inclusive, can do the things, but also keeping in mind that Vicky Boutin is a brand, and I really do have to encourage and support and promote all these things, because now I have people to pay. I have to be grown up. So lots of things are coming this year, but do you see where we're going? We have to do things that start the process. It's a process. That's another word for this year, is we're going to lean into the process, however you say that, wherever you are. We're leaning into the process of being a creative, of making the art, of building our own creative toolbox, our own creative essentials. And then you can we'll add our scrapbooking in there, because when you see the stuff that I'm coming out with this year, you're going to be very excited. It's going to be very good. So I don't know. I'm going to flip the camera now. So I'm going to share and then I have to read the comments because like I feel like I'm not part of the conversation. I just talked at you for all this time. But I want it to feel like some piece of this is going to make you feel like something clicks with you. Your garden might be an arid desert garden. Your garden might be a tropical garden where you do all the things. Your garden might be acres and you might be making a container garden. As long as you're taking the seeds that I'm going to provide you and you're going to plant, nourish, and grow. Because the other thing that's going to give to you, and this sounds so corny, but I mean it, is I feel like you're going to find some peace in a world where right now I don't feel like I have a lot of control. And I feel like some days are really hard, that I want something that I can quiet all the noise. And whatever that noise is, work, a boss that you don't love, you know, a relationship you're in that can be hard sometimes, kids that maybe have health needs that you feel like your battery is low all the time. Art for me, and I feel this to my core, and not even in a guru, you know, astrological, I'm a pretty, not frou-frou kind of thing, is I feel like I need something that's just for me, completely selfish, just for me. And then maybe it's even you can bring your kids in or something. I'm committed to learning. Yep, self-care and committed to learning. And I feel like at this point in my life, I love learning new things. I'm not done. I'm not going to be done till I'm dead. Not going to be done learning and doing till I'm dead. And then the other things I want to bring you this year is places that I can reach out, and then with stores and people who do events that you can come, and if you can make it, you can be in person. We're going to still keep doing those kind of things. But lots of lives, lots of classes, rolling out new products, but trying to make it where it's not overwhelming, but it still continues what we're making throughout the year. And then things we're making from cardboard that I pulled out of the garbage. It's the kind of year we're going to have. It's pretty much Vicky 2.0 now. This is where I'm at. There's a lot of stuff we're going to be talking about, is this reinvention. This year is kind of a reinvention, but with all the same parts, right? Frankenstein. I'm a Frankenstein. So let's flip the camera without further ado. Still a girl in her basement, Blair Witching ya, doing all the things. But if you said something that is, I need to see, say it again. Say it again when I flip the camera. It's important. I want to hear what you have to say, and I just talked at you for all that time. But I don't know. Was that a lot? I'm sure for some of you, shut it off, because you're like, that's a lot, man. What is she even talking about? Fusion. I love it. I have my notebook. You guys share so many things that I'm writing that down in as. I like fusion. 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 Frankenstein. In a good way. Not Frankenstein like raging through the village and killing people. I cleaned. I didn't really clean. I moved. I didn't clean. I moved. Guess the other thing that I'm doing is redoing my whole craft space, and I'm gonna share that with you, and I'm gonna show you what a freaking pigsty this is, because I don't want you to feel like it looks like this. Essentials. I like that too, Heather. Essentials. So are there any takeaways from all that I just told you? Are there takeaways? Do you feel Fusionstein? I love it. Fusionstein. And the whole seed analogy, like, it works for me, right? So now I'm going to take a deep breath, and we're going to make things. And I could be here for hours today, and I don't care, because it's Sunday and it's for me. I have stuff that I have to finish, but I'm going to be here. I'm going to do the things. But I am going to try to make it where we're only focusing on building the base of this book today. So are you using a cereal box? Are you using chipboard? Because I'm gonna order chipboard, so we're gonna have that as we move forward to make albums. Are you using cardboard? right? My scallop punch disappeared since your last class. You got to do the cleanup, Mary Pat. I always say, like, so I love Bruno Mars. I don't know if you guys know that about me. I love Bruno Mars. And Bruno just announced that new concert, new album coming out, and I have been rocking out to the new song. I love it. I feel like he made that for me because, I love to dance. So I've been listening to music, doing the cleaning. I have crashed out this week. I have had a couple emotional breakdowns. Like I feel all the things, right? You're going May 2nd to Bruno. So our tickets open up on Wednesday. I am not available because I'm going to be in there and I'm going to be buying my tickets. So Devin and I are already going to be in Toronto, right? Already going to be in Toronto seeing Khalid because he's my other favorite. And then I love Khalid, Bruno, and Post Malone. Talk about all over the spectrum. But I love them because I love them. I love them as I love. When I went to see Bruno in Vegas with my friend Kari and her daughter, we had like, I think, fourth row. But all the rows ahead of us were all comp ones for Vegas, for the casinos, and there was nobody there. So I literally had a private concert from Bruno, and I might have had to sell part of a kidney, and I'm okay because I will be donating another part of a kidney to sit right as close as I can. So don't judge me. I don't care. I don't care what it costs. I'm getting those tickets. I am. And some of you are going to be like, she's crazy. And I'm like, I am. But it brings me joy. It is a whole packet of seeds, right? So I love it. Thanks for helping me grow with you. I love that, Cindy Wong. Can I ask you another thing, guys? We're going to do work, but I want to talk to you about this. You know what I would love is customer testimonials, or I want to do that. So I have to figure out a way, but I want that to be on my website of things that, why you're here. Because I think we need to make it people inspired, like what makes you want to be part of this community, or what makes you want to be here. Like I said, there's a lot coming this year, a lot coming, big things, and it's going to be good, and I need to do all the things. But today we're going to make this. So do you remember the first thing I said? Okay, so now I got to pause, because do you ever notice I have run on sentence? Deep breath. Sip your water. Video testimonials. I don't know, but even, when you're on like you read a book and you see that, like, in quotes, and then it says a person's name. I want to put pretty art kind of things of like what your favorite things are about my product, my classes, all of that kind of stuff, right? We're not top of customer. We're trying, but like you guys forget is, or a lot of people don't know here, and a lot, thank God for Greta, thank God for Natalie. Holy crap, those two helped me so much. But a lot of it is like all the mailing and stuff is pretty much from Canada is me. And I am solicited by the author or publisher, but I don't want it to feel fake. I want it to be real. And you don't need to share it if it's not, but I want it for my cruises. I want it for like in-person classes, and I just want, right? We're trying to get better at all the things, and I feel like it's getting better. One other thing I'm going to tell you. So I have huge deadlines, 2 huge deadlines that were at the same time. Plus I'm in the middle of product development. So the one thing I started working on, and my friend Carrie noticed it on the Vicky Boutin website. So I'm revamping my whole Shopify. I want it to be easier to manage and locate. I'm going to have a calendar of events. And the other thing that I'm going to do is have a whole list of what I'm going to be doing for Friday Night Lives and what classes are coming. That is my first priority. First priority is I want you guys to see so you can plan. So that is one of those things I want to be better at. So that's going to be coming. Okay. I have some questions they can answer. Yeah, I love that. Well, I know Deborah made me cry in Texas because you see, you guys are all my friends, but when you tell me like the reasons why you love me, I'll cry saying this, but I always feel like just a girl in my basement. So when you say things that are nice, I have a really hard time hearing nice things. So I'm crying because it's been a week. So it means a lot. So it means a lot. And I had a hard time in Texas when you guys were all, the whole VBoo crew got together and told me why you love me, and I wanted to leave. I couldn't, like, I'm like, why can't you take that in? You know what I mean? Why do you have I have such a hard time hearing it. But in the same breath, oh my goodness, it's the best thing ever, right? So I'm sorry. I don't know where that came from. I'm not crying. We're making a book. So let's do the things. I'll talk while we're working, but I could just sit and talk like I could, because I just feel like I felt a lot of things this week. But Deborah posting that made me remember that moment, and made me cry again. And they're tears of joy. It's not tears of sadness. You know what I mean? Freaking weirdo. Why am I crying? Let me rip a piece of my paper towel. I am something else. So, okay. We're crafting. I'm not crying, but yeah, I feel it. So with that being said, let's make some art. Because a lot of you are here like, we're 35 minutes in and she hasn't done anything. You're right, I haven't. So one of the biggest things with our bookmaking, right, is that signatures. So a signature is going to be a little stack that we make and put together, and we're going to add it into the book. There's a professional bookbinding term and bookmaking term for this, and I'll figure it out. Right now I don't care. I just know they're called signatures. So with this one, because it's a no-sew, these we're going to add different paper, and I'm going to talk about the types of things you're going to want to add in here with this type of binding. So I did grab some foundations paper. It's thick. It's beefy. She's thick, right? So with this one, you were looking at 140 pound. It's heavy. So what happens if we do a traditional folded signature, as you add in, it gets thicker, and then it on the ends are going to keep popping out. So we can totally trim that and add that in there. But I'm going to give you another option. We're going to make signatures today that we bind with washi tape. So if you didn't grab washi tape, grab some washi, okay? I can't read because look, I just fell apart. So I'm going to wait for that to pass, because now snot's running out of my face and all the rest of it. So Vicky's going to keep it together. I grabbed some washi tape, okay? Could you use masking tape? You could. You can use whatever you want, because we don't care in this book. It's about learning. So I did grab some foundations paper because I know some of you will want to use this, right? I have here, I'd say this is probably 85 pound. So let's think about, I bought a ream of this at the print shop. So it is like what they would cover sheet. Maybe it would be a cover sheet weight. So you'll start looking. These are things you're going to want to learn as you start this journey, is what the GSM of the paper, what the pound, it's the weight, how heavy it is, how thick it is. Some paper's smooth, some paper's textured, some paper's porous. You can have, when we get into watercolor paper, some is hot press, some is cold press. So many different things that you're going to learn as we go along. But today, doesn't matter. We don't need to get in. I don't need to show you how smart I am. I just want you to use what you got, okay? The other thing is, would I use printer paper in this? If I was going to just do gel plate printing, yes, I could use printer paper. But if you're going to use wet mediums, might not be your go-to. Am I going to do really mixed paper in this? No, I'm not. I'm going to make this pretty basic, because remember, we're starting at the beginning. We're just going to do something simple and use what you have, okay? What are dates? Speaking of planning, do you... 49 in Market Collections. So there's a mini release. There's a little collection that I worked on that's coming out in January. And then the other one, I believe, is coming out in March. January, February. I think debuting in February and maybe shipping in March. So those are the two releases that are coming out. Those are kind of your dates for those. So I have it all here. It's beautiful. I love it. You guys are going to love it. So those are the first things that you can kind of wrap your head around. But you know what I mean? just got to wait for the stuff to show up. And then those are the things. So is that helpful? We're going to be wrapping up Curiosities in Willow Grove, one of my favorite projects I've made to date. But I'm going to tell you, stuff's going to come out this year that is going to look vintage. There's going to stuff that comes out that's really clean, because creatively and here's the other thing, I don't want to be a creative influencer where I have to pick one style and just do that style all the time to build a following. I'm just changing it. I hope I can grow social media only in the sense so people can find what I'm doing, but I don't want to be a social media creative influencer. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense to you. It makes sense to me now, because what I'm seeing is like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do that. I don't want to make shit up. Sorry. I don't want to make stuff up. I just want to do what is real to me, and not about like what the tricks are to get more clicks and all the rest of it. I don't want to do that. I'm too old for that. So you're going to see lots of different stuff, and some of it's going to appeal to you, and maybe some of it doesn't, right? Some of it doesn't, and it's totally okay. But like I said with the Sizzix stuff, want a peek? I'm going to give you a peek of what I've been working on this week. I'm going to do things that are going to be used in a clean way, and I'm going to do stuff that's used in a mixed media way, because it's how I craft. So I've decided I'm staying, let me find it. I'm staying genuine to my style. I'm coming back. Here I come. Oh, Joanne, are you not well? Is something going on? So this product is out. You can see it, but it's not shipping until the 19th. So this is very clean, right? This is a very clean thing. I love it. I'm a card maker now, because this is my kind of card making. I love it. So I found my place to do different things. But I love that you could put this into a, if you wanted to put it into a file folder, whatever you want to do, right? But then look at some of the same product. So what I'm providing are tools. I want to provide really good tools. So no matter what kind of art you want to make, you can make it. So that is, I think, my product stuff. I want tools. You don't need to peek. I love that you didn't peek, but it gives you an idea, right? Do you see how those two things didn't look anything alike? So this is Vicky 2.0 2026, that I want to do what I want to do. I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to create what inspires me, and it's going to be all over the board, and it makes me feel good. So that's what we're doing. Okay. All right. So what do you need to grab? Did you grab paper? What are you guys using? So here's the other thing. A lot of you probably have these packs that we buy at Michael's and stuff. So this paper is only 65 pound weight, right? I missed it. I don't know what happened, Joanne. Sending you love, whatever it is. I'll read back through the cancer. Freaking sucks, man. You need this. With whatever you're going through, you pick one seed, plant it, nurture it, and take care of yourself. But we're here for you, friends. So look at this. Is pretty much what I'm going to be using today, is more of the 65 pound weight. So it's not thick, right? But for what we're doing, I'm going to use this journal is going to sit beside me. I love, there's a crafter called Willow Wonders. I love her. So she calls it her like kickstart journal or something, whatever you want to call it. Like, and she doesn't do the same art I do. I'm just inspired. I just love what she does. I love her voice. I just love it. But this is my play journal. I've always said it's kind of my recipe book. So I want this whenever I'm working, this thing is around. And there might be different versions of it. But when I want to swatch things, when I want to do different things, I'm going to use that. I love Wendy, right? Would it be good to use different papers for different signatures, or you can mix them, Lisa? But remember, this one is more, it's all about the mechanics. This is not going to be my only one. I'm going to make more. But today is just about the mechanics. So I don't want you to get lost in the weeds. Today, pick some paper, let's make some signatures. So for the most part, I am going to make signatures out of this cheap cardstock. But I grabbed other things because I don't want to feel like I'm cramping your style. You can take whatever you want to do, right? Like I said, there's lots of things we can do, but let's keep this super simple today. And then I'm going to show you how we can take some of the thicker paper and make a signature that will work in a no-sew. Thicker signatures are better when we're going to stitch them and bind them because the weight of them, you need a sturdier binding. This is not a sturdy binding, but I don't care what this album looks like. It's just keeping everything in one place, okay? Cereal box, love it. How many pages? We're going to do it. I have no planning, Kristen. Like I am making with you guys today. So I think we're going to make some signatures. But I think what if we build the cover first, like the binding. We're going to make the outside cover, but I grabbed this paper and then we'll talk about it, okay? This is something I want you guys to look at. I'm going to be better at like my Amazon shop, and I know some of you are anti-Amazon, whatever, you can find it in there. I can find a shop, so when I'm using stuff, it can just be in one place where you can locate it. I'm going to be bringing stuff into vickybooten.com because I want most of the stuff that we use, if I'm using it all the time, that you have one place that you can order from. And you can order it in Canada, you can order it internationally, and you can order it from the US because we supply to all of those places. It ships from the US. You don't have to worry about add-on tariffs or craziness with coming from Canada. And then from Canada, you can order it, okay? So, but to start, we're going to do simple. So I have the mixed media pad. Some of you guys said you're going to use this. You totally can. But for today, for me, I'm just going to use that cardstock. So that's one of the things that I have here. So with that being said, let's talk about, we'll make one signature. We're going to look at it. So if you're like, what is a signature? Well, a signature are the pages inside an album. So if you pick up any book that you read, most of the books that we read are going to be glued. The pages in the album are glued. So they put it in a press, they glue it, they put your cover on. There's so many different things. It's a deep dive. You can go down the rabbit hole with bookbinding. And we can maybe one day we'll do some of that stuff. That'll be a class because I own all of the things for all types of bookbinding. I could do glued bookbinding right now if I wanted to. Because like I said, I've been a maker forever. I don't necessarily share everything I do online because you guys have known me as a scrapbooker and I've worked with manufacturers and I've kind of had to do that stuff. Well, I don't have to do anything this year. I'm going to do what I want. I'm going to do what I want. So buckle up, friends. Let's do the things. So with this one, it's 8.5 by 11. I feel like you can locate 8.5 by 11 paper. So that's why the size is going to be this. So when I take this, I am going to be folding them in half. You could score it. You could put it on your, you need a bone folder or some kind of tool for this, okay? So that is one piece, right? A folded piece. Let's make 5 of these. I just want you to have a visual, right? Hi, Darina. Hi, everybody. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Julianne, my little ding-a-ling. I have not said many hellos today because you're getting just Vicky all over the place. It's almost Vicky after dark. It's Vicky after a hard week, right? So see, you'll open it and this is going to fit in here. So does that make sense now? If you're new to this whole thing, what a signature is? So there's things that we could do, and we could go in there with an awl. If you're like, what is an awl? I'm going to say you're going to want to invest in some of these things. I'm going to share more information. Do you need this today? No. You can use this. Our paper's thin. We won't need it. I might use it. We'll see. But we're not going to be using it with this because we're doing a no-sew version. We're no-sewing. Because there's basic. I can show you a couple basic stitches that we can do. That's going to be the next one. It's going to be a basic stitch, and then we'll get into more advanced stuff as we go along. But I want to take 5 pieces. This is what I was saying with your paper. As you fold your signatures, the thicker your paper is, as I fold each one in, is going to push it out on the end. I don't care in this book if it looks bajiggity. So that doesn't bother me. But we could take a steel ruler and X-Acto knife and you could cut the ends off if you want this to be all flush on the end. We don't care with this book. It's just about construction. We don't need to get lost in the weeds. Everything so far should be really basic. And I feel like you could be anybody catching this live and going, this is cool. I'd make one. I want to make it for a journal, or I want to make it because I love my coloring books. I ordered coloring books, but I want to be able to swatch out my markers or my watercolor paints. Whatever you want to do. But we're going to make some signatures. This one for right now, I'm just going to put 5 folded pieces. So that will give me like 10 pages, 20 front and back, right? And knowing not every paper will react the same on the front and back. Some paper, like foundations paper, has like a sizing on it. Like there's a releasing agent, like a sealant on it. So one side can be porous and one side can kind of resist. So be aware of that. Not all paper is created the same, right? And that's why this is one of those things you're going to be a collector of, paper. Anything that you can use, because this is very basic. But we're going to go where I'm going to show you found objects, where we're going to add deli paper one day. We're going to do lots of things. But for today, we don't care. It's just about the mechanics. Okay, so yes, I am aware of all the things. You guys are going to be like, oh, we could put vellum, we could do. Yeah, we can. But this one, just basics, right? Already a collector. Or maybe you're going to modify your collections, right? So we're going to start with this. How many pages did I do? Because I talked too much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I said 5. Is there a reason 5? No. I just said 5. I'm doing 5. So right now I made a signature. This is a signature. Do you see what I'm saying here? That as they came out, it got bajiggity. Is that a proper bookmaking term? Yes. So you could take that. You're going to want clips. You want to go, like, you can buy them all different kind of places. I'm going to, if I find them, I'm going to put them on VickyBooten.com. I'm going to have a whole section on there that are like my favorite things. And you can partake in whatever you want. But I'm going to do it because I want you to find the things. So what I was saying is, if that bothers you, what could I do? I could take my very well-loved cutting mat and I could do this. With a craft knife, do not cut your fingers off, right? This is why this isn't for kids. And I could very slowly cut through my layers. Oops, try to cut straight, Vicky. So you could do this and you could make it flush. So if that's you, this is a judgment-free zone. You could go in here with any of your thicker layers and you could make your signature all flush on the ends. I'm going to tell you, for the most part, I do not care about this. Most of these books are going to look like a hot mess. And I'm totally okay with that. I love the whole junk journal, junked up look of it. But it doesn't mean that all my art is going to look like dark and moody. Some of it's going to be white and fresh and clean. Some of it's going to be dirty. Because, again, creatively, I don't really have any limitations on what I want to make. I could watch Tim, and he could put brown all over everything, and I could say that day I'm totally inspired. I want to put brown ink on things. I could have another day that I want to make it Barbie pink. So that's how you could make it flush, right? I wouldn't say, if you said, do I have a certain style? No, I do all the things. I make all the things. One day I might be watching my friend Lael Concar, and she might be doing list making. And one day I might be a list maker. But I don't fall into any category. I'd have to say I'm all over the place, right? The other thing you could do is you could tear all the edges. You could get in here, you could take your signature and I want torn edges on all of my edges. So you could take, I don't know if the paper's too thick to do it. I think that's one sheet. And I could go like this, and I could have bajiggity edges. Do whatever makes you happy. Oh, I love it, right? I love that rough edge. And you see, like, this is what I'm talking about with paper. There's fibers in this paper. It's all going to receive all of your medium's different. So that's a signature. We are going to make a couple of signatures. The other thing we're going to do, let me draw this for you. The binding I am opting to do today, trying to find nothing top secret, because this, I have like 12 notebooks on the go that some stuff I can't deculture, whatever, do the things, right? We're just not going to focus too much on that. It's just more the mechanics. So what we're going to do is we're going to take whatever you're using for the cover of this journal. It's a no-sew journal, and we are going to use twine so that we can take these signatures and slide them into a couple rows of twine. So if I was going to draw this, do I have a pen handy? This is like the thought process here, right? Is I'm going to have this journal that looks like this. There's Devin, right? It's going to be that kind of binding. Woo!
Got it. Okay, sorry.
She is putting her meal prep in the freezer down here. Move the pad down. Sorry. Can you see it now? It's really hard with this phone is so close to me. So we are going to tie our twine around here, and that's where, when you open this journal, sorry friends, when I open this journal, I should have done it differently. That's the outside. So right, we're going to tie that twine around here, and that's going to be the binding for our signatures. So when you look inside your journal, okay, that's your spine. That was a big sneeze, wasn't it, Deb?
Yeah.
No, it's not. What kind of twine? I'm using this because it's what I had, because I don't care about the mechanics. We're going to get into, I'm going to talk to you about things as we go, what I think it's worth investing in. Like we can do wax twine, whatever you have. But I have baker's twine here. I'm going to use it. Because this one, I don't care. It's just the mechanics. I'm using what I have. I didn't want you guys to have to go shop for anything. I want you to use what you have for this one. So when you look where that twine is going to come, and we have this, you're going to open a signature and slide it under. Does that make sense? So that signature is going to fit inside that. You're going to have all those pieces. Why I love this is if I'm doing something that I need to have my page flat, I can pull a page out, do my art, and slide it back in. The other thing we can do with this is I can add to this. So we're doing a very simple binding on this one. So what we're going to need to do, so we know right now the signature, because I use 8.5 by 11 folded in half, my signatures are about 5.5 by 8.5. Okay, so signature is 5.5 by 8.5. So I'm going to want to make sure this is slightly bigger than that, right? Rubber bands. You can totally use rubber bands. You just have to make sure you get big enough ones that that is totally a traveler's notebook thing, right? So we're going to talk about that down the road. We're going to look at getting elasticized string. There's so many things we're going to do, friends, right? So use what you have. We can use rubber bands. We can use wax twine. We could use elastic. You can get elastic twine. Lots of things. So whatever you want to do. But for most people that are here who haven't done this, you got to look at, say you brought your sister Tammy and she's like, I love what you made, but I really don't have anything at home. Well, hopefully it's pretty easy to find some twine, right? So this is like, it's mechanics and just basics for this. I have all the bookbinding things. Everything we just talked about, I own. But I'm like, not everybody's going to have giant elastics, right? But if you make a smaller journal today, you could totally use that. So all those things are great tips. So we know that our signature is 8.5 inches high and 5.5. Why? Because I used 11 by 8.5 paper, because I feel that was folded in half, that everybody will have this, right? Ribbon would work, lace. There are so many things. You use whatever you got, okay? And there, the other thing is I don't want to muddy the water, because that'll be like the next thing. We'll do all those things. So don't feel like, make notes, but you don't have to have any of these things right now. Whatever you have that you could tie around. So when we go to make our base, we're going to need these 3 pieces from your cereal box or from your, I'm using my cardboard. So I'm going to cut my cardboard. So if this is 8.5 inches tall, you got to decide what you want. How do you want this to sit? Like, how much of a frame do you want around this? 9.5, probably too big, but I would think, well, maybe 9.5. I could, because then I could vary. So I'm going to make that decision. Mine is going to be 9.5 tall. And then I'm going to do 6.25 because I can. 6.25. Yarn works. I love it. 6.25. So I will need 2 of those. Do whatever makes you happy, right? I need 2 of those. So it's going to be the same. This is my front and my back cover. Now your spine is as thick as you want it to be. How much do you want to put in this? Like, do you want maybe a 2-inch spine on this one? Do you want 2.5? I think I'm going to go with a 2.5-inch spine. Why? Because whatever, it works. We're not going to get lost in the whole math of the whole thing. And then it's also going to be 9.5 inches. Okay, so we're going to do that. When we get to this, we're going to then do a piece that is going to bind the spine and the front and back covers. And then we are going to have a piece that covers your covers, and then a piece that covers the inside. So we're going to end up covering all of this cardboard, because we're going to take a piece like this. We could glue a piece together. We could do this like this. We're going to miter the corners, and then we are going to take our bone folder and score, fold over, glue. Then we will cut pieces that cover that here, even here if you wanted to. So let's do the things. We're going to make, the biggest thing now is the base, right? The base of all this. Right now it's practice and play. So let's do the things out of things. We're not going to be really sad if we muck it up, because I didn't use my expensive chipboard that cost me $1 a sheet. I'm just going to use a cardboard box. Because if you're like me and Christmas came, I have a lot of that crap, right? You have colored cardboard. I'm going to cover it all. I'm going to cover it all. You're not going to see any of this. Not going to see any of it. Okay, so we know, first thing I need to do is make a straight edge. So I'm standing up, friends. And now, did you see where I put my cutting mat? My nose is running because I was a crybaby. So I'm trying, this is big, right? This is big. So let's try to make something flush. I'm going to just cut one edge and then I can make the rest flush, okay? So taking my craft knife, I'm just going to cut some pieces out. Hi! You called me earlier, but I was showering. I didn't see it. And you didn't answer your phone.
Live was this early.
Yep. The people like it early. They're excited about it. Because some people, right? Different parts of the world, different time zones. It's a nice way to spend a Sunday. How'd it go? Rich went and dropped Riley off and Denise at the airport. They are going on a cruise. All good? Traffic bad?
That was fine. Best traffic ever.
Yay!
Now I'm going to go stretch over here in the studio audience.
No studio audience. It's a closed set. Men. Okay, so I'm going to, now I can use my craft mat, right? Or cutting mat, and I can make this square. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to cut this side down. Because then I can just line my ruler up, hopefully. Well, I got to start it because it's too big. I need a bigger cutting mat. We'll see. If it's not flush, I can fix it. But I need to make something a little smaller. This is a little big to work with. Okay? So let's see. Did I make it kind of flush? So I'm going to just cut a piece off the bottom so this is manageable, okay? Did you see? And then he left because I'm like, dude, get out. You can kind of use the lines in your cardboard too. Let's see. What did we decide the height was going to be? 9.5? Okay, so I'm just going to make it slightly bigger so I can make sure that it is flush, right? I need it to be squared. And I don't know yet until I cut this down a little smaller. This piece is pretty big to work with. So let's just get rid of some stuff, right? I'll probably be able to make my spine out of this one though. That was in no way straight. Okay. And again, I'm not going for perfect. I'm just going for getting something done here. Doesn't matter. Do whatever you want. As long as it's slightly bigger than what you're using for your... Sorry, friends. I love, is Wade on here? Greta's husband? I love it. We are going to, so if I go here now, right, I can see that it's flush there. And is it flush here? Pretty straight. It's not perfect, but it's pretty straight, right? So we can fix that if we want, or just go with it. I'm going to just go with it. So I said I'm doing 6 1/4 by 9.5. 6 1/4 by 9.5. See, your name is showing up as Wade Hammond. I laugh. It's Greta. But that's the fun of the new YouTube. I don't understand why it changed everybody's names. So you can mark on this because we're going to cover it all, right? So we decided 9.5. So I'm going to do it from the top now, and I'm going to mark 9.5. And 9.5. And then what's nice, once I get one cut out, I'll just trace it and cut it. Okay, 9.5. And then we know, what did I say? 6 1/4. I'm going to do this one. 6 1/4. 6 1/4. There we go. Good enough, right? Good enough. Sorry. So you could totally have drawn this and then cut it out too. That would be smart. See? Learn with me. Learn as we go. And then Vicky gets smarter as she goes along. Because I'm sure some of you are at home sometimes, like scream at your computer or TV, right? It's so big. A second here. I'm going to cut that piece out, but I'm also going to cut this piece out because it should be, I should be able to use this for my spine, right? And then I'll cut it down to what I need. There we go. Look, did you see what I just did? Thank goodness I don't need all of that. Dum-dum. Okay. And here's the whole thing. I bet some of you are looking and going, holy crap, man, she's making this harder for herself. You do what works for you. Vicky's brain works one way and your brain works another way. And that is the magic of all of this, right? Is that totally just do. So you could have made a template, right? And this might be something. I think that's a good plan moving forward. If there's certain sizes you're going to want to do, you could totally make a template like that you use when you want to cut your front and back cover and your spine. So let's cut that out. Boop. How's everybody doing? Can you cut straight along your steel ruler? So things to add to your toolbox. I don't care what kind of crafting you do. You should have a steel ruler and go to the dollar store and get yourself a X-Acto knife and some blades. I use this all the time. I went to school for graphic design, and back then we didn't use computer programs. Like, we did everything was by hand. And everything I did, I feel like I was using a steel ruler and a X-Acto knife. Like, we were cutting stuff out all the time. So I never had a paper trimmer. Like, anything we needed to cut out was all with. But yeah, I love the template idea. And I just thought of it as I was doing it. I'm like, ooh, that would be smart. Could be out of paper, could be out of card. But you could add that into your creative toolbox, right? You're like, I'm making a lot of these albums from scratch. I want to have something that I can just use as like a little tool. That one didn't go through. I have to go blow my nose in a second, friends, because I don't want to annoy you after I sneezed now. That. Let's see. Can I follow? No. I'm trying to just freehand that to get through that one layer and not cut my craft mat underneath. I think I did it there. Okay. Here we go. Love it. Right, so I have my front and back cover. And now I can see how straight I cut everything, because I'll make an adjustment, because they're not, both of them are not exactly the same, so I can clean that up. So you know what I'll do is just take a smidgen off the side. But yes, it's ugly. Like, you could have printed cardboard, colored cardboard. We're gonna cover it, so it won't matter, okay? Cereal boxes. Like, you can find people make this kind of stuff out of everything, because sometimes you live in parts of the world where stuff is not readily available. You don't have like a dollar store, an art store, or you live somewhere rural, and you just have to get creative, right? So I love it. Use what you have. I love it's upcycling too, which is always a good thing. Okay, I have to blow my nose, friends. I don't want to irritate you, so give me 1 second. Okay. Hand sanitizer. Sorry, friends. Hello, Simone. How are you, friend? Simone is one of my friends that took me all over Sydney area when I was in Australia, showing me all the things. And that's what I said. This wonderful thing about this community is the people that you get to meet. No flesh wounds. That's a good thing, right? With your craft knife. I'm cleaning all this up. Who's making with me today? How many of you are actually creating, or some of you like folding laundry or making dinner or doing stuff and then just hanging out? Because we have, like, I find a group that does both things, right? Some want to watch the process and make later. So see, this is not big enough, but that one will be. So let's see how square it is. Not bad, right? Not bad. Hi, Cindy. So I'm going to make one of these too. I'm going to Japan, and I'm going to make a junk journal. A junk journal or traveler's notebook. You're going to see some new stamps and stuff come out that is going to support all of the stuff that we're doing this year, because there's things that I want. I want some new alpha dyes. I want things that I can use, right, with this stuff for layering and making art. So it might already be in the process. Some of the stuff is, I'm making it already. It's going to be good, right? You're doing with me? Love it. You're in your pajamas just watching because it's 8:15. Yeah, I get it. Okay, so what did we decide? I'm going to do my 2.5. Do I have enough here? Because I might be switching it. So guess what? I don't have enough and I don't feel like cutting another one. So I'm the boss of me. So this is going to be 2 inches. I'm going to do a 2-inch spine. Totally okay with that, right? 2 inches. Let's cut that. You like to see the process first. I love that. And then you know what? You can decide if it's something you want to make or you're like, yeah, this isn't my jam. But I'm going to tell you, when I teach all over the world and I get to teach with a lot of amazing instructors. And I find when I was doing a lot of the things with my Spanish speaking community, a lot of those crafters make from scratch. Because I think, like I said, if you live somewhere where stuff isn't readily available, like you don't have scrapbook stores or art stores, that you get really clever. And it's always been one of those, like some of the albums I've seen made. Oh, Be Still My Heart. So let's do some of the stuff, right? Let's just make some of the things. Let's do the things. So now we have our spine and our front and our back pages. So I did make an alteration. My spine is now, that does not look straight at all, Vicky. I don't know what I was measuring. So something isn't straight. So is it only 2 inches now? Because this is not 2 inches. Let's see. And that is 2 inches. So, and then is this 9.5? The math does matter a little bit, right? Got to kind of cut straight. It looks all right. Maybe it's just me. There we go. Okay. So I have my spine, which is now 2 inches because this wasn't long enough and I didn't feel like cutting anymore. The rotary cutter, yes, and I own them. That's a great thing. I'll have to put that on my list to bring it down, my rotary cutter. That's smart and less chance of cutting your fingers off. Okay. Clean up my mess. Okay. And I love that some of you guys, I think, are here and maybe you don't chat because you're doing stuff. And I love when I see people that I'm like, I didn't know that you watch my lives. I love that. You use your rotary cutter too. Very clever. That is a great tip. I have one. It's just upstairs. Remember, I did used to work for Fiskars. I have all of the stuff. 18-inch roto trimmer. Oh, super smart. So when you look at this, right? This is going to be your spine. Here are the things that are going to be important with this. Whenever you are doing bookbinding or building a book, you can, if you glue it all flush, when it goes to turn and you have paper on it, it's going to tear. So you want to leave 1/4 inch-ish is what I'm going to do my spine-ish, right? So there's different things we can do here. I think this will be fun for an easy way is we're going to cut a piece of paper that's big enough that we can secure our spine and we'll glue it over. And then we're going to cut another piece that we can then cover that as well. And then I think it'll give us some stability with this being cardstock, right? Or what's this called? Cardboard. So we're going to cut a piece here that we can then wrap around. You'd miss a finger with your X-Acto knife, yeah. Yeah, lots of trimmers, right? Hi, Denise, how are you? I don't scrapbook anymore, but I still like to pop in now and again. So what can we get you to start doing, Denise, that is crafty? You don't have to scrapbook. Like I said, my life has changed. Scrapbooking has changed for me because I want it more to be now like journaling, traveler's notebook kind of, because I don't do 12 by 12 like I used to because my life has changed. I'm not scrapbooking my kids and stuff anymore, right? So things have changed. I'm going to cover most of this with the same paper that I'm doing my, because we can glue it. So I want to make this easy, right? So will it fit? Let's see. So we can take this and we can glue it to make it. Let's see, if we glue two pieces together, will it cover? Yeah, it will. Look at that. Right? Because we can buy paper that's big, but what if when we're starting, we do something like this and we can use this as to cover this because we're going to put art and stuff on it, right? What was the spine? I ended up with 2 inches, Ingrid, because I messed it up. And it actually worked better because now my paper will fit. Look, it was an accident and it actually worked out for me. Because then I could do these to cover this, but I like that. I like it. Let's do, see, I think I might even alter, and this is what we're going to do. So you could glue this. You could use your glue stick when we get into adhesives. You could use double-sided tape, whatever you want to do. I just want you to make this one big piece. Now you have to make it. You want this to be bigger than what this is going to be, right? So you saw what I just did there. I'm going to glue it with about 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch to make one big piece of paper. Because now that will come and give us about a 1/2 inch border around the edges to create our white cover. You might have paper already that's that big, but remember, most people won't. So do I have stuff I could use as one big sheet? I sure could, but not everybody's going to have that. So, and you're leaving that, we're going to take our bone folder because you want, when this wraps around, for it not to tear, okay? You could do art paper, all that. This one, I don't care. I'm just using white because this one, I just want it to be kind of the mechanics, if that makes sense. So I'm going to use a piece of suquang, just double-sided tape. Okay? And I'm going to attach those 2 pieces together. Because I'm also going to put art on top of it, and we can color it. We could gel plate with this, whatever you want to do, right? Question, you want to an inch-ish around the cardboard. Mine is about a 1/2, and I'm going to use that. You need it so it can wrap around there, right? And because I'm using what I have, I'm not going to have a ton of extra. But then we can cover it when we go in the rest, right? So burnish that. Make this a big piece. Boop, boop. There it is. Like mine is only a 1/2 inch border around there because it's what I have here. But we're going to use them. That's why hang out, Denise. We're doing so many things this year. And we'll find a way like it could fit in. For some people who are on a health journey, it could be what you're using for tracking your macros. It could be your exercise journal. Like I feel like all the art we're doing, you can put whatever you want in there, right? Whatever you want in there. So I'm going to tell you, when we go to glue these pieces down, you could use a glue stick. Or if you have matte acrylic gel, or I don't use Mod Podge, but if you have something like that, you could use that. So I think I'm going to use my glue stick. And if you're like, why, Vicky? Is because it isn't as porous. Does that make sense? It's not as porous. So what will happen with that is it won't leak through this paper that's not very thick. So let's go ahead and glue this down. We're going to see how it works because I'm doing the things with you, right? Doing the things with you. We'll see. Did I make a good choice? I don't know. But the reason I want my glue stick is I want it to be secured to the whole piece. I wouldn't use a tape runner. That's not going to really be your friend. So I might do some on my fold too. Let me put it on here. And I'm going to center this just on there. If you have like a little T-square and stuff you can use, you totally could do that. But I'm just being an eyeballer today, right? And when you do this, you're going to have like you need a little bit of an opening here. So when it wraps, you don't want it to tear. So if you have your brayer, you totally can do that. I have T-square sets for bookmaking that I will list eventually. We have all the things. We have all the things because I do all the things. You think I've been around doing this for so freaking long? So we're going to leave a space because, like, look at, does this make sense now? When it folds, right, you need to have that opening so that you could use your ruler. You could do whatever. You could draw it if you want to. There's no pattern on this, so I don't really care. I'm just going to glue it, okay? But yes, you could. If you have a little T-square, like I can already tell, like it's not square at the top. Don't even care. Don't even care for this one, right? Oops, I thought my lid was still on and I was grabbing right on the glue stick. Crazy lady. So I love the glue stick. Put it on so it's like snot because you want it to have enough glue that it doesn't soak right into the paper. So I'll put it on like it's kind of boogers. And you can put a little bit on the paper too, just for a little extra. And like I said, I'm going to line it up, leaving, I don't know, what is that, about 1/4 inch? 1/8 of an inch? This is like practice in place, so we're just going to figure it out. Just want it to line up. Looks good. Brayer is something you definitely, if you're going to hang out with Vicky this year, you want a couple brayers because we're going to be doing gel plate printing and you're going to want that brayer. So like I said, I am not using printed. We're going to make another one down the road that we're going to use our art prints to do this. For this one, we're just using what we have. And I didn't want to make you guys have to do mixed media first before we made this album. So that's why I'm opting for just plain white paper for this one. If you wanted to use art paper, you might have some handmade Japanese paper. You might have mixed media that you wanted to use. We've talked about paper towel art. Lots of that stuff's going to come. But for today, I'm just keeping it basic. I want it to be, I want you to feel like you have the things to play today. So use what you want, right? You're planting your garden, you pick your seeds. Okay? And now use the same spacing. We'll see. It could be a hot mess. It could be great. Don't care today because today's just all about playing. Like this is not my first time making one of these. We have done this before, haven't we? I like my brayer too because I'm not putting my dirty gluey hands in there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to miter the corners and we can fold this over. Now, we have to think about, yeah, let's do that. We're going to do that. Let's miter these. But do you see what I'm saying now? Look at How fun is that? You want to draw a pencil line, you can, but I'm just going to cut it. I'm all about just eyeballing today. I'm not going to cut it right to the corner. I'm going to give it a little smidgen so I can fold that over. I don't want brown to be peeking out there. So if this makes sense, right? I could have probably left more. That's probably not perfect. I'm going to leave a little bit more. You could get really fancy and make these all the same mitered edge. I'm just doing it. Just doing it. Okay. So what's going to end up happening here now, right, is I don't have a proper bone folder. I only have my little one. But you're going to take this and you are going to start folding over, right? So this is not going to be perfect. So see, Vicky did not do perfect. I could have done a better mitered edge, but it's okay. We'll paint it. What glue stick am I using? Scotch brand, Yoo-Hoo, any of those. So do you see what's going to end up happening, friends? I could have done a better miter job on that top one, but it's okay. We can paint it. We aren't going to wreck anything. It's all going to be good. So what I like to do as I go and start working this around is I will run your bits so you have a nice flush edge, okay? So see, if like, look at my miter's pretty good here. My miter's terrible here. Terrible job, Vicky, but don't care, right? So you just want to make sure it's flush as we make our cover. So I like, you want a good bone folder. You want to flush your edges, and then you're going to glue this. Yeah, we're going to cover it. I'm going to cover it, but I won't get right to that corner. Do you know what I'm saying? Dion, I'm not going to get right to that corner. You're going to see a little bit of that. But like I said, I'll paint it later. I don't care. It's all good, right? Yeah, it's just the copy paper. So, and then you're going to help these a little bit too, okay? So that when you bend, you don't want to have your paper. And I'm also see that it's buckling a little bit. I'm going to brayer it a bit more. I'm covering all this anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But get your corners. Okay, let's glue. Let's do the things. Let's do the things. Let's grab some scrap paper so I don't get glue on my craft mat. So you definitely could use wet glue here if you wanted to. You could use wet glue. You do not have to use a glue stick. You could go in with your matte medium, whatever you want to use. Did you see all that glue booger right there? Trying to keep it as clean as possible though. That glue booger out. Clean your hands now so you're not transferring glue. And then start bringing that over to the other side. Because you're going to come in here, right? And you're going to help your fold. Okay. Ooh, love it. I'm making a mess with my booger glue. How you guys doing? See this corner? I could have got tighter. Do that a little bit. Love it. Yeah, I love this. If it's your jam and this is something you want to do, you could make tons of them, right? And I think that's a great idea. I think multi-making anything so you don't have to set everything up again is a great idea. So another great tip. You guys are full of them. And like I said, there's a lot of you out here who do this all the time. So I'm sure this is nothing new for some of you. But there's a lot of people. Anybody here first time ever making your own book? So yeah, provide all of your little tips, because there could be somebody out there struggling with some aspect of this, right? And you could share your little golden nugget. And it helps them, right? But like I said, the binding we're going to do for our... We've made this before though, friends. We've made versions of this. And we have done where with no spine, where we just made a long cover. Do you remember that art journal we did? I think it was last year. So see, if you rub along the edge, you will get that where it starts to fold over before you cover this side of it. And then you have your cover, right? So there is some glue and stuff on it, but we're going to be covering that. Love it. It's not perfect, but it's perfectly completed, right? So clean up your extra glue. How'd everybody do? What size did you guys make? Yeah, we've junk journaled. We've done this. Okay. So we can go ahead now and cover the inside pieces so we can clean it all up. So I'm going to cover the spine first, right? This piece. And then we will cut pieces that we can clean all of this up. So when you go in here, right? We are going to cut pieces that will fit like that and right to the edge. And then we're going to cut a piece here that's a little bit bigger than the spine. So we know that the height of this book, so can see some areas where I could have used more glue. Totally okay. We're going to cover on top of this. So it's okay as long as you have it's close. And if it's your first time doing it, totally okay. If you have some version of this completed, I say yay. So I'm going to do, I think for the width of this one, I'm going to do 4 inches. And then the height of all of my pages, I want to come pretty close with just a little bit. I'm going to do 9 1/4. 9 1/4. So I'm going to do 9 1/4. What did I say, by 2? 9 1/4. No, by 4. 9 1/4 by 4. And then the pieces I want here are going to be for mine 6 1/8, or I could do 6 inches. I could do 6 inches. You decide. But you don't want it to overlap here. You want it to only go to this line and then as far out. So see, this right here really bothers, that bothers me. So you know when I go to do this, let's see. I'm still going to see a little bit there, right? But remember, who cares? I'll paint it. I'll paint it. It'll be fine. Because I don't want you guys to be like, oh, it's not perfect. And so I can't be, oh, it's not perfect. So you get that you need 2 pieces here that you're going to cover all of your work. And you're going to start with the piece that we do for the spine. Right? Yeah, that's good in pencil though, because this paper's pretty thin. So will that, can you tell? So this is going to be 9 1/2 by 4, right? It's going to end up going here, right? And then we can do, what did I say for this one? It's going to be tall. This is the height, and that's a width, okay? Width, height. And then this one is going to be 9 1/2 tall again, height, by, what did I decide? I'm going to do 6 1/8, okay? 6 1/8. And I need that here too, 6 1/8 by 9 1/2. So I love that idea. That's good. You're smart. Write it right on here. So let's go and let's cut our pieces. It's okay. I'm going to paint it. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to paint it. So I need this to be 6 1/8. I'm cutting 2 at the same time. 6 1/8. By 9 1/2. And these are the pieces that will go. Did I do that right? Let's see. They're going to go here. Mine need to be a little bit smaller than that. I'm going to trim it a little bit from the 9 1/2. Take a smidgen off. See, I had this piece. I'm like, will it work? It won't. It's not big enough. So I'll save that for another day. So we'll do our 4-ish. By 9 1/2-ish. So this is going to end up covering my spine, right? I like to do this one first, so when you're looking in here, this will be clean. You could do it in other colors, right? I want all these to be the same height too, because that one is not at all the same height. Yeah. How you guys doing? Question: why not use one solid piece for the inside? I like to have my front and back. You could use one solid piece if you want to, Kristen. But I always like, so I don't have it, I can't see the folds. I like to do like my spine piece. Do you know what I mean? And then I can cleanly put that on there. You could do one piece. You could do one piece. Try it. Tell me what result you get. Tell me what you get. So I don't want to over glue this, so I'm putting the glue on the piece I'm gluing down, and then I can put some on there. You know what I mean? Like, let's remind me of that, and we'll do it next time like that. I don't know if it's right. Do you know what I mean? I don't know why. I just think when I usually put that inside piece, I like to do it in the two pieces. But it might not make any difference. Do you know what I mean? Might not make any difference. So I'm just gluing this piece, getting my corners. Put lots of glue on because some's going to soak into the paper. And then I will put a little bit on here. I just don't want to go up too high because I don't want to over glue. And I'll clean my craft mat off. Okay. I don't want glue on everything. I really like to not have, because glue when you go to paint and stuff will act as a resist. So I like to try to keep this as clean as possible. So I'm not measuring because I'm going to cover most of this, but I am trying to get it kind of in the center. Ish, right? And then we can see how straight everything is, and I can see that, oh yeah, not very straight at all, Vicky. So glue that down, and then the other thing you're going to want to use, get your corners, is your, before I fold, right, and I fully commit, I want to make sure that I have started to allow, I don't want it to tear, right? I don't want the cover to tear. And then I'm going to do this side. So you're getting in the well of your spine. Do you see it pulls the paper away? And I think that's why I do that, Kristen. Is do you see how it pulls? It really will, I find always on that inside especially cover, it pulls your paper away. So if you glue it all as one, I feel like you can get tears a little bit more easily. So if I feel like if I'm only having that little bit of extra is way easier to manipulate when I burnish and wrap than if I did one big piece that I could get it in there and it could pull right out of my edges. So, and I'm not super great at maths. So sometimes I'm making it up as I go along, which if you guys have been following me for a long time, I'm making a lot of stuff up as I go along. But now look. So now, right, we have our spine. It's not bad. Like it's not bad, right? Hi, Marlo. And now we're going to glue and put our pieces here. And not bad. It's not super ugly. Like we did a pretty good job on our book cover, right? Pretty good job. I'm quite impressed with myself. But I'm going to tell you, I'm going to trim this a little bit smaller because I feel like it's folding over into my well. And I don't know if I want that because I don't know if I can glue it flat enough. Okay, I'm not going to. I'm just going to do it. Just going to do it. Just make sure you get your glue on your edges. And it's tricky with your glue gun. Glue gun. This is not a glue gun, Vicky, with your glue stick. So I'm going to put a little corner there. But I don't want it to go on the other side of the page. So a little cheap. Get your glue going. But you need it. It's need to be like snot, right? So one of the other things we're going to be doing, friends, we're going to do a fabric album. I want to, down the road, do a fabric one. So that will not be no sew because we're going to sew. I'm going to show you. I'm going to buy some different trim that I saw on Etsy. I want to get some trim from India. And I want to do that. But we've got to start somewhere. And I feel like it's good to do some basic stuff, right? Let's do the basics. Just make a simple white journal that we're going to paint and alter. but I like you to see the mechanics before we get into the 2.0, the 5.0, the advanced stuff, right? Got to start somewhere. So I know all of these things exist. And for you guys that have been doing bookbinding and bookmaking for a long time, you'll have lots of things that you're sharing. But I feel like got to start somewhere, right? So it's good to just do a very basic kind of album. Now I could go with this. And if I feel like it, I could share. Do you want me to do one more thing with this? With my gel plate? Or I'll save that. Let's save that for the next one. Because then you guys can grab everything. So I want everyone to make this. And then guess what? We're going to gel plate. Print make on this whole cover. We're going to print make the whole cover. Right? It's not bad. It's not super ugly. I'm quite impressed. But we're going to gel plate on this sucker. It's going to be so good. So that's what we're going to do next. So I want everybody, because not everybody's here right now. So by next Friday, I think that's when we'll do the part 2 of this. I want everyone to have the base done. And we're going to gel plate this. Yep. 8.5 by, get the 8 by 10 gel plate. Although, yeah, that should work with this one, right? So what do you need for a gel plate? Do you want to know? I'm going to tell you right now. And see, I'm not smart. I'm so not a smart business. I'm not a craft influencer. I should have had links. I should have had links and share a sale. I don't do any of the smart stuff, right? But this is what I'm going to tell you to get started, because we're doing that this year. You want this size. You want an 8 by 10 gel press or jelly art, either one of them, but you want an 8 by 10 gel plate. You want 1 or 2 brayers that are a rubber brayer like this. Okay, you don't want the wire ones because they bounce. They're not stable enough. Each to their own. I don't like them. I'll tell you, I don't like these. I do not like these. I like this. And for cleaning, pops out, clean, put back in. You need 1 or 2 of those. Really more, but we'll get into that. If you're going to ask me, because you don't have anything, what would you start with? This is the paint I would buy. Liquitex. You can get, it is a great acrylic. The body of this paint is great for gel plate. So if you were going to say, what would I start with? This. Your gel plate, brayer, and then stencils, bubble wrap. We'll talk about it, all of that in the next class. But that's why Vicki makes lots of stencils and stamps, because I feel like those things are evergreen throughout your art. But I don't feel like this is a huge investment. But the things we can do with this, but we're gel plate. So a lot of you guys are going to be super excited about that. And I'll do a, but you want, I think the best size to start with is 8 by 10, because you can use 8.5 by 11. So that is what I'd say. How many paint colors? Whatever you like. Pick your palette. Pick colors that you can make secondary colors. So some primaries. So get things that are in your reds and your yellows and your blues. But you can get starter sets with this. Look I have every color. So I have all of it. It's on, I have this wall, the secret door in my room. I'll show you in a second when I take the camera down. I don't want to scare you guys because it's my room is a freaking mess. But there are lots of different paints you can have. I will tell you my other favorite paint. So I love Liquitex and I freaking love this. Let me find it. I love Amsterdam acrylics. Look how dusty it is. Because they have colors too. Like this is a favorite, indigo. They have an opera pink. So yes, this is another great one. Do these work? Do these work? Yes, they work, but sometimes they beat on your plate. They have more or less viscosity. Higher viscosity is resist to flow, so that's thick. They have less viscosity. So can you use them? Yes. Will you get the same results? No. Are they bad? No. It's different. And then you have this kind of paint. You have fluid acrylics, which I love, and you can get great results, but they're more translucent. They are lighter. They're a lighter body paint. So like I said, for a beginner, I would say Liquitex Amsterdam are my favorite. That's what I would say. Okay, but I own all of it, friends. I have all of it. I have everything. There's so many things we're going to be able to do. But to start, but if you're like, why are we going to gel plate? I'm going to tell you why. Because I'm going to be able to take this whole thing, put my pattern on my plate, and I can do this, and I can pull a print right on it. I can pull a print on the spine. I can print the whole thing. And it's going to be acrylic paint, so it's going to give this cover a little bit of body. So when you see how fast we're going to be able to decorate this with gel plate, it's going to be freaking awesome. So we'll do some base gel plate basics. So for some of you guys who've never used it before, we have to do some gel plate basics. And then, so you know, a lot of you ordered all my exclusive stencils. I'll use those. I'll use those to make the art for our gel plate, and we can layer and print on it. It's going to be so much fun. You watch. I love Liquitex, and I love the Amsterdam paints. Like, I'm a huge fan. Look at Michael's has a sale on Liquitex for BOGO 50% off. So buy one, so 25% off. So that I'd go and build your stash. You definitely want white. You want some black. If you own Vicky Bouton, if you own these, we can use all of this on our gel plate. We can put metallic on there. But that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to use my stencils. So that's what will you need to decorate this? Bubble wrap we can use. You can use anything that makes an impression but doesn't cut your plate, because your gel plate is soft. The other thing for easy cleanup is hand sanitizer with your gel plate. We'll go through the basics. It's going to be good. Okay? Oh, they don't know if it's on right now, but they run those often. Yes. Okay, let's do the other cover. So for today, pretty much going to show you. I don't want to add my binding necessarily just yet, right? Because guess what? We're going to paint that cover. I just don't want to do it today. I wanted today to be not super overwhelming with too much stuff. So I think breaking this down into bite-sized things is a good way to go. So I'm inking the edges so I can go right off the edge and not get it on my background on this scrap paper. And now, like I said, you don't want to have little bubbles in your cover. Oh, gel plate. So why, Vicky? Why gel plate? Because you use very little paint. You have way more control than you would expect with it. And you're going to get wow results. Literally, wow results. Very excited. Okay. Here we go. Let's put this baby down. And the other thing, you know, those corners that I'm not happy, I'm going to be able to cover that with my gel plate, because I'm putting a layer of acrylic on it, but it's very thin acrylic, right? Because you use hardly any paint on your plate. That's the biggest thing. One of the biggest things when you're gel plating, you do not need a lot of paint. But look at what we just did. Do you feel accomplished? I feel accomplished. And we could use gel plate prints to make this, but now look at, by doing the complete white cover, we are going to be able to use gel plates now, gel plate print still, in any color you want. So I am only going to be your craft guru or Yoda for that, and you can do whatever you want on it. By us starting with white means that now I did not in any way influence what this is going to look like when it's done. So many things we can do. If you want to add binding to it, you could put a ribbon on here. and put another coat on top. I put another cover, that ribbon would go underneath, right? Or you could put the piece of ribbon right through, and then you'll be able to tie it on the side. But let's talk about before, because there's other things we're gonna do, right? Hello, hi friends. Lots of you here. There's way more people here than I expected there would be today, so thank you for that. But let's talk. I feel so good. Look at, I got all crazy, kept rubbing on that. So I'll just make sure when I paint, don't do what I just did. I forced it. It's still just paper, right? Still just paper. You're going to see, I'm going to make a couple of these in different sizes. But let's talk now about where this would go, right? So this cover, we could do tons of different things with it, with this cover, right? We could do Coptic binding. This, what we just did is your basic making your cover. You could have made it out of fabric. We could have glued fabric on it. Glue stick totally with fabric is the best way to adhere fabric. We could sew. We could go in here and just do 3 holes across there and do a very simple stitch, and then do the same binding with our signatures and put it in there. Lots of things we're going to talk about, but for right now we're going to keep it super basic. So I love the idea. So people were saying elastics, so you could buy, and I'm going to look it up. I'm going to look them up. So next time you see me, I'll have elastics here that are big enough, and I could take the elastic, roll it right onto my spine, and I could have elastic. I could buy elastic thread like you use for making jewelry, right? When you're making bracelets. So I'm going to buy a couple different things, and you could tie that on, right? You could put beads on the edges of it. What I was talking about, so different things that we could do. So for this binding, I could punch holes with my hole punch here, and I could thread my twine and just tie it in the middle of the signatures in here, right? Or I can just wrap it right like this. Yeah, get Liquitex metallic. I almost couldn't speak. Did you like that? Or you could take your twine, and this is what I'm going to do because I'm using what I have for this one. I'm trying to show you that everybody can do this. And then you could just go in, decide how many signatures you're going to put in your album, and you're going to tie that on there. So I will do one and I'll cut it off after, so just to show you. Okay? Because I'm not ready to do this, right? Because I want to paint my cover, and I don't want anything on this when I go to paint it. But I want to show you where we're going. I need to entice you. I need to entice you to come back. So let me show you. I love this. So if you get sugar container, and I put my twine in it, and it looks pretty, and it's easy to get out, and then it doesn't tangle. So I would take this, right? And this is going to be my binding now for my signatures. So I could take this and tie it. So what I'm saying is I'm tying it right around the cover on this one because I'm keeping it as simple as possible. But if you want it to be more secure, you could also punch holes, make yourself like a little diagram, punch holes here, and you could tie it through that so they stay steady, right? They could stay steady. But for this, because we're keeping it as simple as possible, this is what this is going to be. I'm going to cut this out and redo this with you next live. But that is going to be my binding. I'm not ready for it yet, but you see what I'm saying. I want you to see where we're going, right? That's going to just be some rows of that. It would be straighter if I didn't tie it with my Superman strength. So I might want 4 of these on here, and I'm going to have 4 signatures in my album, right? So then you would just take it, tie it as tight, and snip. My scissors have glue and crap on them too, so I'm not cutting so well right now. And then, you know, the signature we made. You find the center of it, and you are just going to slide it through. And now your album is going to have as many of these as you want. But why I love this is I could take this and it's going to lay flat when I work. I could paint right in it, or I can pull a sheet out as I want to use it. Right? I could pull a sheet out, work on it, put it back in. So I love it for this one. And then I can do a whole bunch. This can be way thicker. I could put more pages in my signature. This is what we were doing for today. Is it done? No, but it's the first step. And I think bite-sized pieces are good. If you want to keep working on it, do your things, you can. Just know that when we come back, I will just pick up from where we left off. Oh, can I show you another thing I wanted to say for signatures? So remember, foundations paper is thick, right? It's chunky. So if I have this and it's not going to be big enough to fit in the signature like I want, or it's too thick, here's the other thing we could do with the signatures for this album, which you're going to see, because I could add ones that I've made. Like these will have pre-made ones in here, but then I could also make my own. So let's steal a piece of foundations paper. If I go to fold this now, it's very thick. It's very thick. It's going to crease. So here's another option for adding. There's lots of different binding options, but another one that will work in this style of album really well. So let's cut our two pieces exact. They could be the same size. Look at, I'm gonna rock your world. Not really, but I'm dropping crap. I'm gonna do two that are different sizes. I want to clean that edge just because it has the perforations on it. Okay, so what are we gonna do? This first piece is going to be the height. So look, I have enough room. If I want it to be taller than 9.5, I could. So but we'll keep it. I'm gonna keep it at 9.5. Okay. And then I could cut this into 2 6-inches if I wanted to. Do I want to do that? Yeah, why not? Let's cut it in half, because this piece will be bigger. This will be bigger in the junk journal. So now, using thick paper like this, or it could be my watercolor or whatever, the other thing I could do to make this a page in my signature is this. I'm going to lay it with a little bit of, you know what I'm doing here, why we have our washi tape now, right? With a little bit of an open space there. And I am going to put, I gotta stand up because I won't be able to tape straight. I'm gonna center that on that flipper. And now look at that. So for my lovers of foundations paper, do you see what we just had the ability to do? Is to use that thick paper in this journal without it being too chunky in the fold. Well, you'll see in a minute. Some of you are like, I don't know where we're going with this. I'll show you. Look at, and then we added this pretty little element to it. So now, look at, I have a flatter version of a signature that totally can go in my album. Oh, see, this one I thought I could make taller. I lied. I made it too tall. So I can clean that up, but let's pretend. See, it's live TV. It's live TV, Vicky. But look at, so I could add a bunch of foundations paper in here and it will lay flatter. So many things we're going to do, friends. This is just the beginning. Are you excited? Is this anybody out there who's kind of watching that you're like, I wasn't sure if I was going to do this, and now you're like, I'm totally doing this. It's going to be fun. But I feel like this is really the beginner's way of making your own albums. So you don't have to go and spend like $60 on a leather bound art journal or whatever you want to do. Oh, I did not plug my, why is my laptop saying that the battery's dying? It's plugged in. Isn't that crazy? It's not working. Just a second. I don't want to die, everything to die here on you. It's saying it's not working. But it's plugged in, so that's weird. Let's see. There. Is this good, friends? Not scary now. It's not. We made this out of a piece of freaking cardboard. It's plugged into the wall. It is. That's why it just, I put it into another plug on my power bar. I am so excited. So, like I said, for me, for now, I'm going to cut it out. So I don't want to rip my edges. And we'll do it again. Because all I want you to have ready for the next time I see you is this. Your base. And if you don't have a gel plate, I'll give you options on decorating it. And make a bunch of signatures. I'm going to trim that down. That I got crazy. That one's too big. That pig, I made it the same size of the album because I'm a dum-dum. So I'll make that smaller. But you see, you can junk it up. We could put watercolor in here, whatever you want, right? This may be a weird question, but where do we get foundations paper? VickyBooten.com. I bought all of the remaining stock, and I'm going to try to source it and make it again. I'm going to try to source it and make it, but you might be able to find it online, but VickyBooten.com. I'm just telling you, friends, there's lots of stuff coming that you're only going to be able to find at VickyBooten.com. Because it's time. Doing this for a long time, right? It's time. So I am going to trim this down right off out the gate because I don't know what crack I was smoking there. Ate it too big. But I love this option. I love this option that we can do this. And if you don't have washi tape, you totally could take tissue paper and do that. Yeah. Okay. This is super important. So everyone listen to what I'm saying. Okay. Super important. Anything new that I talk about, stencils, foundations, paper, is in both locations. So yes, Greta has a ton of foundations paper. A ton of foundations paper. I will update that, Raquel. But you see, the thing is so as we talk, can I flip the camera and talk to you for a few minutes? You guys can stay here, you can go. But let's talk about things that, ask me these questions. Now's good Q&A time at the end of this on our Sunday afternoon. Right? Learn and create. Create and learn. That's what we're doing, creating and learning. So I'm going to talk to you. Flipping, boop, up my nose, hi. So, VickyBooten.com has an absolute ton of product. I'm going to sit while I talk to you, okay? Just a sec. Here we go. There we go. Don't look at the mess behind me. It's big. I wasn't lying. It's a big mess. So, VickyBooten.com has a store and warehouse area in Ontario, Canada, and it has one in Indiana. All of the pre-stock before we made the pivot when the tariffs went like all caterwaul craziness, and I was like, I don't even know how I'm going to continue this business. And then Greta and I have known each other for years. She's like, I can totally do fulfillment from here. So I'm like, perfect. But the thing is, there's a ton of stock that was in Canada. Like when I do some of the goodie boxes and stuff, that's why we've done those two separate things as Canada and US. So what my goal is I need to clear out what I have as previous stock to tariff disruption, right? Previous stock to tariff kind of disruption. Or how the world's changed. Tariff, I know it's a trigger word, but it did. It changed everything, how we operate. So I have to clean that out. It's going to be goodie boxes. I will put anything that is remaining product in the Canada only section. Don't even look if you're in the US, because some of it's going to make you sad, but don't even look. There's some things that are you can't find anymore that I have tons of, that I have. It's been sitting there because one Vicky, I haven't stocked it. So don't look unless you're making a trip to Toronto and you're like, can I stop by and get a box of stuff? I'll be like, you most certainly can. I just can't ship it to you. So with that being said, what I need to do now is I need to revamp all of Shopify. We're in the process. We have all the plans to do it, but we don't, like, it's a Vicky job. And like I told you, I stayed and pulled an all-nighter doing other things. So it's coming. So yes, all the exclusive stamps and stencils and new dies that we're going to be doing stuff with. I'm going to be adding some of my new Sizzix collection. I'm going to add some machines. I'm going to order a couple. You can get these at your favorite retailer as well, but I know some of you just shop with me. So I'm going to I'm not adding tons of stock. So if you're a retailer out there, I never do. I never have. Even though the majority of my money is made from my classes and all the other stuff, I try to keep it very fair and level across. I don't go and order. I just order a little bit to have there so if people want it. And also so you have visibility if people are finding you from YouTube. So some things you can find at all your favorite retailers. Some things you can only find at vickybooten.com because they're not things I wholesale. I am producing and making myself. Okay? Stamps, stencils, dies. If it says exclusively sold at vickybooten.com, it means you can only find it there unless there are a couple of retailers that have reached out and said, hey, would you consider? And I mean, that is pretty much on I haven't done it yet, but there are a few. Like I'm looking at, like there's a store in England and a store in New Zealand that I'm trying to, because then it will save you guys on shipping. So if we can do something, so moving forward, some of that things are going to happen. But right now, foundations paper, all the new exclusive stamps and stencils. If you wanted to do, I'm telling you, I have kits still left. Greta and I have been filling those in. Curiosities in Willow Grove is a freaking amazing event. There's kits left for that. I am just at the point now where I just need to clean all of the things up. But because it's not all cleaned up on vickybooten.com, shop under US only or Canada only. Canadians, you can shop anywhere pretty much other than if there's stuff that's only left in the US. But you see what I'm saying? I have to split all my inventory between two places. And eventually we'll probably be able to set it up on Shopify where we have 2 fulfillment centers so we can have current updated quantities. We just haven't got there yet because understand, I'm just your like local scrapbooking, mixed media, art journaling friend who is just trying to figure it all out as she goes. I'm not a big manufacturer. I'm not a big company. I'm just like a lot of you guys who decided I'm passionate about this. I want you guys to be able to find the things I'm using and the company. It's all a process. It totally is. But we're used to Amazon. And a lot of us mom and pop small businesses, not possible. We're set up to fail when you're compared to that. Even larger companies that you shop from online, they have tons of staff and they have lots of experts in lots of different areas that can make these things happen faster. So you guys are the best. Very few ever complaints. A lot of it'll be like, hey, Vic, just by the way, I ordered this a month ago and you haven't shipped it. And I'm like, oh, crap. And I send it out with a gift in there. But I don't think I've had very many ever people who are not nice. Because you have a reason to be like irritated because you're like, I need this. And I'll be like, oh, I'm sorry. We had a whole bunch of different like access onlys to fulfill, all of that stuff. And it just got lost in the shuffle. So never be mad about having to reach out at info@vickybooten.com. That's where we answer. Don't email me on Facebook. Like private message me. I don't check those on a regular basis because if information comes in from too many places, I'm like, I read that somewhere. I don't know where it is. info@vickybooten.com, right? Do I need to get a gel plate next Friday? I'm going to use one, but could you brayer your art? You most certainly could. You could. You don't have to. I'm going to use it. Oops, sorry, that was my ruler. I'm going to use it, Irene, and I know you'll probably want one. I'm trying to get them on my website, but I can't find them easily. So I'm going to reach out to Gel Press and see if I can't order a bunch of them. But at this point, I have a few here in Canada, but they're not up on my website. And Greta doesn't have any on the US side. So that is one of those that, look, you might be able to use a coupon somewhere or something for it, but they're not as easy to find as they used to be. But yes, any inquiries, any questions, just want to tell me you love me. Tell Greta she's doing a great job. Natalie isn't on there, but I forward you guys will email Natalie through info@vickybooten.com, and I just forward all of that stuff to Natalie because it's better if all the inquiries, questions, anything comes in one place, because you have at least 2 of us that are checking that pretty much daily. You might not get a response because weekends, Greta gets a weekend. So if you email on Saturday night at 11 p.m. and you're mad on Sunday morning at 8 a.m., it's the weekend. So sometimes if I'm on there, you just get a response, but just know that you won't always get a response on the weekend, okay? You have a gel plate? Yay! And if you have a bigger gel plate, does it matter? No. But I'm saying if you haven't started and you're buying your first gel plate, 8 by 10. I've seen gel plates at Michael's. I have too. And that you can use your coupon. So you'll get it cheaper there than you will anywhere else because none of us can compete with that. So yes, brayer, some paint. I told you the acrylics I use, what colors, whatever color you want to do on your cover. Like you could start with 4 that you want to use, right? No gel plate, not my budget this month, then use your brayer. Use your brayer. But I'm going to show you why. And then it'll be something that maybe you want to put on your tool wish list. But do you have to have it next week to do it? No. I'll give you options on scrap paper. We could do brayer art. You could do kissing technique. But I want to show you with the gel plate, what's going to be so easy is that I can layer a pattern and then just print it. Because that's the thing. Gel plates are print making. There's going to be so much awesome stuff we're going to do. But no, you don't have to have it right now. But I'm going to tell you, Dorina, I want you to have one eventually. I want it when you see that maybe Michaels.com does have them and you have a 40% off coupon and you can get it for $20. Then I would say when you have that extra 20, buy the gel plate. And I'll tell you why. You take good care of that tool, you never have to replace it. Ever. Ever. And I do not encourage you to purchase things that I do not think are worth your time and money. And the gel plate, I had to take a year off because there was one with my name on it. That's garbage. Don't buy it. Don't buy it. I've seen it on clearance, all these places, and that you can get it on sale. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's garbage. So I took a year off of gel plating because I didn't want people to buy something that, see, people don't understand, and a lot of new people, right? Just because my name's on it. At this point, I have no control over anything that has my name on it because I'm only a designer. You'll hear Tim say that. If you have issues with a manufacturing or whatever, you need to reach out to who manufactures it. My name is on it. They're my ideas, but I don't have control. And I didn't have a lot of control with one of my former companies, right? So they ordered all of them. They didn't work. And I said, please don't put it out there. And they didn't for a while. And then the company that bought them, like before, who has it now, a lot don't know. I'm sure people don't know that they don't work. It doesn't work. So if you own the one with my name on it, that is not a gel plate. Okay? You want Jelly Art or Gel Press. Those are the 2 companies that if I'm going to buy a gel plate, that's where I'm buying it from. No one else. I don't know, maybe some Speedball, don't do it. It's for ink. Speedball's ink. It's an ink gel plate. You could probably use the Vicky Booten one with ink. So if you have it, we'll see, I don't want to draw any attention to it, but you could probably use it with ink, right? I bought it very cheap at Joann's and then threw the plate. I'm telling you, could use it as a palette for your ink and for your paint when you're brayering. But friends, that did not have my stamp of approval and I got no say in it. So if you're only finding me for the first time and you're like, I don't like her because of that gel plate, sorry. You could use it as a grip mat. That's a great idea, Irene. Use it as a grip mat. You could put it in your stamp, any of your stamp press machines, and you could use it as a grip ball. grip mat. Don't buy Speedball one. It's an ink. Speedball is ink. So it is, you can, when you sniff them, you can smell the difference. 8 by 10 is what I would start with, because when you pull prints, you pull tons, and you can use 8.5 by 11. So I have a 12 by 12. I have a huge one, like a big giant one. I just bought myself a 3 by 5 and a 5 by 7 because I want to use it like to like stamp impressions into my, like I could take that smaller one and I could press impressions into this. But I love gel plate printing, so I have all the sizes. I buy them. No one has sent them to me for free. I buy them. So just like you guys, I just go and buy them at full retail price because I love it. Any questions? I probably missed lots of things. So jelly art or gel press. I'll show you what the packaging looks like because I own both. Right? One looks like this, gel press. I feel like you probably can see a lot of gel presses out there. And then the other one looks like this, jelly arts and gel press. Jelly arts and gel press. See, I have all the sizes. What is this one? 6 by 6, 8 by 8. I have 8 by 10. I have a 12 by 12. And I would if you're like going to do a lot of gel press, you're like, do I need all those sizes? I'm like, sure. If you're going to do it and you think you have a use for different sizes, I'd say yes. But the biggest things, if you have a cat, do not let your cat lay on your gel press. Do not let hair go on your gel press. Keep it. They say not to store it in the clamshell. I store mine in the clamshell. The biggest thing is, though, if you cover it with a sheet of paper, if you put an air bubble, if there's an air bubble, that air bubble will be in your art. So anything that leaves an impression, but you can get it out. I just kind of recondition my plate. You put baby oil. Will clean if you want to condition your plate, but then you just got to clean all that oil off. Hand sanitizer will get all the paint off your gel press, but you don't want to use anything sharp. If you put any kind of puncture in that gel, so think of it in the science of that, right? So it's like a skim coat layer of this jelly material that when you put all your paint on, very thin onion skin layer of paint, you're going to then press it on there and it's going to lift that onion skin layer of paint onto your paper. But if your cat lays on it and that cat hair, you know, if you've ever had it like in your eye or anything, it will cut impressions into your plate. So that's the only thing with taking care of your plate. I do not clean my plate between prints and pulls unless I want a really clean image. And then, like I said, I use hand sanitizer and I clean it. Any other questions? It's okay to store it in the clamshell. Just don't use the plastic sheets it comes from because it'll leave the bubbles on it, right? But but you will watch some artists I see are like, don't store it in the clamshell. Don't store it with the sheets it comes with because those are kind of sealed to it. The biggest thing, you don't want air pockets in it because you will see that impression on there. I usually just put a thin piece of printer paper and just rub it all over and I'll store it in that. But yeah. But I leave it on the sheet it comes on, the back sheet. I never take it off and I'll use that. But there's so many things you can do and there's so much information out there. And I'm just going to share with you throughout the year all the tips that with gel plate printing. And there's a lot of stuff I want to do this year with it. So I'm telling you, whenever you can invest in it, I will support your investment with education. I'm going to do another gel plate class and a 2.0, right? I work with gel press and they said the clamshells were okay, just not the sheet, right? Because those bubbles, right? Will leave the air bubble. It's fine when you first take it off, but when you go to add it back on, I just never take it off the back. I've just kind of left it so I can glue. I love that, Denise. So yeah, I store it in them though, right? But you know what I'm saying? Have you watched other artists? Well, like there's lots of information and opinions out there. Do what works for you. But yeah, I store them in that. Vicky, show us your paint wall door. Oh my goodness. Don't judge the mess. Like I have stuff on the floor. But yes, here, I'm going to do a walkthrough of my studio again. So I'm unplugging you and I'm going to take you there. I think I can unplug you. Yes, I can on my phone. So you ready? This is my paint wall door. So see the washi tape? I custom made this. Can I flip the camera? Let's see. I can. Oops, see? Look at mess. I wasn't lying. So this is my paint wall door. So I have all of my paint. This is custom made. Look, never even painted the dowels. I've been in here for 85 years. But this is my books are down there. So look it, we made it. There's a crack on the wall. But this is a secret door. It goes into the room behind me. But yeah, I will share all of the things. I'm going to do a full walkthrough of how lots of things. I'm storing my ink, changing a lot of things up. So, but yeah, that's beside the, people think I'm saying hell to them, but it's hello. But I will do a walkthrough. I'm revamping a lot of things. And guess what? The other thing that I'm doing, because I think it's super important, I'm getting rid of crap I don't use. I'm getting rid of the crap that I feel guilty because it sits around here. And I have to tell you that I love design. So when the guy who is my handyman came, I hand drew all of this. And he's like, did you take drafting? I'm like, no, but I'm an artist. So I hand drew everything I want. I designed that. And I'm like, I want this because we need to access. We put in a tankless water heater, but I wanted to maximize the space. And I didn't want to cut in this huge area to go around that. So we put in that door so people can get in there if they need to do any service on that. And I can walk into the little where our exercise stuff and that is in there. If I ever took care of myself and got up and moved my body. But my plans for this year, if you're still here and interested in all of that, is I want to use the stuff that I have. The stuff that I'm coming out with that is new, I want it to be purposeful. So I love my scrapbook collections. You're going to see those this year. I love them. I have right now 2 designed that are coming out this year and plans for 2 more. And that will be the kind of things you'll find in those are stickers, ephemera packs, big ephemera packs, paper. I'll do some more rub-ons. I want to do some more laser cuts. It's going to just be, it's going to end. I just want to do, so one collection might have something in it that's not the next because it doesn't make sense with that one. And then we can look at things that you're like, I love that album. It'd be really great if you made signatures we could just add. Maybe that's going to be a thing. Maybe I will make things that you could buy like this that are printed, or maybe they're in craft, or who knows, like the sky is the limit. And I have lots of plans. I want to do things that are beyond just my 6x8 albums and 12x12 pages. I'm still going to do it because I love them. But I want to do art journaling, junk journaling. I want to do a traveler's notebook. But like I said, it's traveler's notebook, but I don't necessarily have to do the size that they say a traveler's notebook has to be. There's no rules, especially if we're making it ourselves. We can do whatever the heck we want. Because sometimes if it's I want to mix what I do with photos because I still love that. But I want to journal a little bit this year because, like I said, I think it's good for my mental health. And some things will be no words or photos. It's just going to literally be watercolor practice, or it could be gel plate practice, or it could be notes for ideas. One is going to be like an idea book that maybe I'm watching falling down the rabbit hole on YouTube and I come across a new artist that doesn't make art anyway like I do. And then what I can do is make notes of how I want to. It will be my seed book. I'll have a little book of seeds where I put all my ideas. So it's going to be all those things. So I want you guys to stick around. Be here, keep me company, do the things you want to do. But like I said, there's a lot coming. There's a lot coming. Art for the sake of art, making for the sake of making. We don't have to, not everything has to have an end result. It can just be part of your process of just making the things. But look at what we made. I'm proud of this. And I think it's a good place to stop. We talked about what a signature looks like. You need some signatures. This you could do as homework if you want to. We made the base. We're going to decorate the base next week, and we're going to start using this thing. I almost swore. We're going to start using this, right? But I want to get a lot of you back. Like Denise hung out for a lot of this and she says, I used to scrapbook and I don't really do that anymore. And I think a lot of people, because of the business side of Vicky Booten, only think of me as a scrapbooker, but I'm not. I was an artist forever before I ever had kids and started wanting to do something with my photos. And if you followed me for a long time, I've always used art in my scrapbooking. But some things are just paper and glue. Some things are just using ephemera, because think about it now. My art is what you use from a Vicky Boutin collection. Those are all my concepts and ideas that I work with Melissa to make into product that you can buy. And there's a place for that. There's a place for that. There's a place for making things from scratch. That's why I love dies and stamps and stencils. So like I said, you find your place, pick your seeds, and I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you grow your garden. And that's my plan for 2026. This was so much fun. Thank you for joining. I look up a lot because that's how I pull thoughts. So I don't have a lazy eye. I just do I have stuff on my nose? I thought I had glue there for a minute. It's not a booger or anything, but I will read back through all of the live comments because I feel like you had a lot to say that I missed. But thank you, friends. And if you're new here, do not forget to hit the subscribe. There's other YouTube things. I'm doing a deep dive in YouTube. So I know I can add a community button on YouTube. I know that I could get subscribers, that down the road I could do things that are just for subscribers. I know that I could start doing shorts where I could take, like, I'm going to hire somebody on Fiverr or something that can take all the content from these long videos and make them into little, without all the chatter, just take little pieces and make them into smaller things. I just want to do everything we can. I have to be very, very diligent in my marketing and in my social media and the sharing so I can grow this community. I have to do it. To keep doing what I'm doing, tell your friends, share it with your friends, right? Help me grow this so I can still keep bringing the things that I want to bring, which just means I need people. I need people, right? I don't care if there were 4 of us here, but it's when it comes to the product stuff, you just have to do it. But yeah, and thumbs up. So if you haven't hit that subscriber button, hit that. I will be live on Friday this week, and then there'll be a switch for the following week because I have my weekend event. So you can get access only if you just want to come and hang out for and do the clusters and see what we're doing. It's not super expensive. VickyBoutin.com, that's where everything's at. It's going to get better. So you're going to be able to find calendars and find all the design team posts and links all in one place, right? Comment after the live is always super helpful too. So when we're no longer live in the regular comment section. So tell me something about what you've loved or what you're excited about for the year to come, and maybe I'll do a giveaway. So when we're no longer live, go in the regular comment section and I'll do a $50 Canadian gift certificate to VickyBoutin.com, and I'll post it by next Friday. I have to pick the one from the last one. I have to go post that one too. Okay, we'll see you guys later. Thanks for joining me. Thank you, Natalie. I think she left to go make dinner, for always being my wingman. Thanks for Greta for popping in, and thank for all you guys for taking the time to do something for yourself. We'll see you guys later. Bye. Bye, friends.